Hey guys, Rudy here for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council with the top 10 cards of this format. Now, I know this format still has about a month to go, but I figured it would be a great way for a good send-off while we look at what basically defined this format and your side decks, your extra decks, and your main decks, however it was, and how big the impact was. So before we can do ban list discussion on Coffee Time, we have to do cards of the format. And to kick us off, at number 10, we will start momentarily. And at number 10, to start this countdown, is Breakthrough Skill. It's been in about 90% of your decks, and why not? You get double the effect, you get to use it twice, and it shuts down PLEIADES. But besides just shutting down PLEIADES, it shuts down Artifact the Hand, Majesty's Fiend, common things that are becoming more and more of a threat as time goes on. But in the same regards, the other reason that a lot of us are running Breakthrough Skill is because it's much harder to deal with and you can't just MST it. Now, here's a theory. Here's a little minor theory. If MST is not being used as much, why don't we just go back to Fiendish Chain? We still have PLEIADES and artifacts to deal with, so let's move on to number 9 and see what made number 9. And at number 9, we have CONSTELLAR PLEIADES. The reason we have PLEIADES at number 9 is simple. Because of artifacts. Now, given that, oddly enough, they're only really running one because A, it wasn't in a pure build, and B, it was in hats. Hand artifact TRAPTRIX. And I do have to say that even at one inside that deck, it is very annoying to compete against. I think anyone can agree with that. It is the main sole reason we are now running more Breakthrough Skills instead of Fiendish Chains. It is one of the biggest reasons why Breakthrough Skill took a charge at number 10 spot and not what I originally had at number 10. Because, let's be honest here, PLEIADES is a pain in the ass. When there's two artifacts on the board, you know what they're going to make. So that's why you get to number 9 spot onto number 8. In at number 8, I'm going to get flamed for this one, is Trap Stun and Wiretap. The reason both of these are at number 8, because I normally don't put two cards on the list together in such a way, it's because you can't talk about one without talking about the other because it comes down to preference. And to me, I prefer Trap Stun, but Wiretap is still amazing because it's a costless, basically Solemn Judgment that stops trap cards and sends them back into the deck so you don't have to worry about them. So things like Breakthrough Skill easily get shut down with Wiretap. Why things like Artifact Sanctum, you don't want them getting again, Trap Stun's better for. But as I just said, I normally don't put two cards on the same spot. So the reason being is because we're changing it up a little bit. And it's not to cater to anyone, but let's be honest here. These two trap cards have been the sole reason why we could play our trap cards. It sounds kind of odd, doesn't it? Basically, in the heavy list format, it's very hard to make a move when your opponent has set 5, even with these. Now, Trap Stun's more of an OTK card, where Wiretap is to protect yours, so they both get the nod at number 8. Let's move on to number 7 and see what's lying at number 7. In at number 7 is very much a popular choice right now. It is TRAPTRIX Nightmare Hole. And the reason TRAPTRIX Nightmare Hole is in at number 7 is because its rise to popularity so quickly, and what it does well. Chain this to something like a Felgrand that Sylvans would use, or other decks like Dragon Rulers would bring out, and you can easily just shut it down really quickly. It just gets it right off the board, you don't have to worry about it, and it's searchable by TRAPTRIX Marilla. Who doesn't like that? Searchable, playable, don't really have to worry about much when it comes to this card. It's been one of the more tech end cards since YCS Philly, and we've seen it pretty much everywhere and everything. It allows basically to screw over your opponent without having to use effect fillers anymore. And the flexibility it carries makes it better than Blackhorn just by a little smidget, because you can use it on your opponent's turn. Both, the timing's easier, let's put it that way, the timing's a lot easier. Kind of stupid what I just said. Anyway, let's move on to number 6. In at number 6 is one of Radio's personal favorites, is Blackhorn of Heaven, which a lot of people seem to tend to ignore now, when honestly it's still better than TRAPTRIX Nightmare Hole because, well, they work best together. But the point is, they have to Wiretap it to get it off the board. And when they bring out Extinction Knight, this is pretty much the best counter next to Silent Warning that you can have to prevent your field from blowing up. It's one of the better cards that stops every kind of special summon. Well, not every kind of special summon, but the ones that you really care about. The Exceeds, the Synchros, and soon, very soon, more fusions. Black Horn of Heaven will take you out of sticky situations faster than you know what to do with. And I'm not fully sure if it stops fusions. I may be incorrect on that. Just correcting myself there. But honestly, what is there not to love about Blackhorn? You should still be running. You should still care about it even after this format. Hence, it makes the number 6 spot. Let's see what the final 5 are, starting with number 5. And at number 5 is MADOLCHE ANJELLY. Because ain't you jelly? No. This card saw a lot of hype, and its price took a high rise at sneak peek with it, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Did it have an impact? Hell yeah, it did. Is it still having an impact? Yep. The only reason it's really not as much is because, well, pad is a thing. But this is one of the more playable cards throughout the entire format. And yes, I know Primal Origins came mid-through, but it still counts. It allowed MADOLCHEs to rise to a little bit of a higher status when it came to the metagame. Now, I just want to touch upon a little bit of the controversy that that brings with ANJELLY. They still were a great deck beforehand. This just gave them more of a push. Now I think we have a fully understanding about that and why it's number 5. Let's move on and see what number 4 is. In at number 4 is, I think everyone's favorite draw card right now, is MAXX, because MAXX is always super duper playable in heavy special summon formats, especially against MADOLCHEs, and MADOLCHEs can even use this against you. Honestly, it's been one of the more saving grace of the format because you can draw into something to protect you or draw into your OTK and then basically OTK your opponent. Logic goes out the window with that. It allows you to set up for hoop cake plays in MADOLCHEs. It allows you to draw combo pieces you need to set off your soul charge. It is one of the best cards of this entire format, alongside with things like Curry Bandit, which did not make the cut at the list. Probably would have made number 11 spot, but I didn't feel it had a big enough impact on the meta to fully. It's very short-lived, like with Curry Bandit, but it gets a little bit of a nod here when I mention it, probably number 11 spot. But MAXX takes the number 4 spot because allowing you to draw is just too good, especially in high special summons. Let's see what the final 3 are. I'm getting excited. And at number 3 is Soul Charge. Now, some of you would probably argue it was the best card of the entire format. Actually, it's kind of not. There's still something that triumphs over Soul Charge, but Soul Charge is definitely one of the best 3 cards of the entire format for April 2014 through to the July 13th, 2014 formats. Well, it's one big format. Soul Charge allows you to basically make Quasars, FTK your opponent in certain situations by ripping all the cards out in their hand and not letting them make a move. Pretty much. Pretty nasty. Oh, did I also mention it allows you to, let's see, set up your entire board. Entire board with enough shit that your opponent can't get over. And just OTK them next turn, so you don't really minus out on losing battle phase, especially in a format we don't have Monster Reborn. Seems legit. Soul Charge gets the number 3 spot, but what was strong enough to take out Soul Charge, you'll find out right now. Like Scorpion Sub-Zero, Fire and Ice Hands, yes, I just made a Mortal Kombat reference, take the number 2 spot. Their splash ability knows no ends, and their power knows no ends. These are the definitions of the new era of floaters. If there was more floaters like this in Tengu and the Chaos Minis, then we'd all be screwed. But these are a definition of what makes Super Splash Ball happen. They allowed a deck like Hat to have the final push that the deck needed to basically give it its toolbox of It gave it the screwdriver it needed to take out the bolts of meta decks all alike. Now, Fire and Ice Hand always come as a pair, hence why they're together on this list. You can't talk about one without talking about the other. Ice Hand takes out the back row, Fire Hand takes out the monsters. They're always pretty much ran in 3s, and you have to love them because they're annoying as hell, but my god, have they changed the game. So what was better than Fire and Ice Hand? You're about to find out right now, and I think some of you may know. Let's go to it. In at the Covenant Trophy number 1 spot gives it to the best card of the formats and the best trap card of the format. The MVP that allows artifacts to be splashable. Artifact Sanctum, give it up. I know some of you are going to hate me for that. Honestly, I feel it was the best card of the format because of its splashability and its flexibility. If your opponent destroys it while it's face down, you can chain it, and you get an artifact on board, and you get a destruction effect. It's pretty nasty. It forced us to basically be scared of back row and take MST out of our deck. That is a huge impact on this game that we have never seen the likes of, taking MST completely out of the deck. MST has been near staple for at least about almost 10 years now. Just almost. Some will argue, but when we had Giant Trunade and Heavy Storm, did you really need MST? Yes, it was great to go along with it for that one spot removal, get that skill drain off the board faster. We are in such a game changer with Artifact Sanctum that just came out. And we're going to see that throughout the whole next format. There'll be more cards, just like these 10, that will force us to change the way we look at the game and to force us to change the way we play the game. But in the comments, I want you to tell me your top 10 picks for this format. It could be coming up, it could be out already, as long as it's TCG based, leave it in the comments below. And finally, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share, and basically, I think that's everything. And let me know what you want to see on the next top 10 countdown. And as always, I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! If you have a deck request or any video request you want to see, leave it in the comments below and we will do it. And until next time, peace.